Hello, you're turning on the English news from Quảng Nam on television. I'm Nena, and here are the headlines. The Standing Committee of Quảng Nam Provincial Party Committee holds the 19th conference of the 22nd term. Mr. Lương Nguyễn Minh Triết received a delegation from the command of Coast Guard Region 2. Effort to protect and restore one of Asia's most beautiful beaches. On the morning of April the 2nd, the Standing Committee of the Quảng Nam Provincial Party Committee held the 19th conference of the 22nd term to discuss and evaluate the implementation of tasks in the first quarter and outline key tasks for the second quarter of 2025. The conference was co-chaired by Mr. Nguyễn Đức Dũng, Standing Deputy Secretary of the Provincial Party Committee, and Mr. Lê Văn Dũng, Chairman of the Provincial People's Committee. In the first quarter, authorities and stakeholders across the province focused on leading and directing the implementation of Resolution number 42 of the Provincial Party Committee, achieving positive results. The province's gross regional domestic product, GRDP, was estimated to grow by over 10% compared to the same period last year. Domestic revenue reached nearly 5,400 billion Vietnam dong, accounting for 26% of the annual estimate and increasing from the previous year. The economic scale at current prices was estimated at nearly 29 trillion Vietnam dong, up by more than 3.3 trillion Vietnam dong compared to the same period last year. The total number of tourist arrivals, including visitors and overnight stays, were estimated at 2.24 million Vietnam dong, an increase of 10%. Revenue from tourism-related services also saw a significant rise. The program to eliminate temporary and dilapidated housing was effectively implemented, with 5,590 out of 11,761 houses completed. Quảng Nam province also focused on vigorously restructuring its administrative organization in line with the central government's policy, consolidating and strengthening the provincial and central leadership teams. However, challenges and shortcomings in leadership, direction, and administration demand and need to be addressed. Chairman of the Provincial People's Committee Lê Văn Dũng emphasized that the implementation of major policy of the central government and effort to accelerate socio-economic growth will be significantly impacted by the ongoing administrative restructuring and territorial adjustment. He stressed the need for stronger management and oversight of real estate transaction in the Quảng Nam-Đà Nẵng border area following news of the province's potential mergers. Additionally, efforts should be made to resolve long-delayed and stagnant projects causing public infrastructure and to accelerate the disbursement of public investment funds. Provincial Party Secretary Lương Nguyễn Minh Triết urged authorities to focus on several key tasks in the coming period, including strengthening public communication, raising awareness, and monitoring public opinion regarding administrative restructuring and streamlining of the political system. He also emphasized the need to uphold administrative discipline and effectively implement assigned tasks. On the afternoon of March the 4th, a working delegation led by Colonel Lê Huy, political commissioners of the Command of Coast Guard Region 2, paid a cursory visit to the leadership of Quảng Nam Province. Mr. Lương Nguyễn Minh Triết, Secretary of the Provincial Party Committee, received and worked with the delegation. On behalf of the delegation, Colonel Lê Huy expressed his pleasure and gratitude for the warm welcome from Secretary Lương Nguyễn Minh Triết and provincial leaders. He said that before being assigned by the Ministry of National Defense to his current position as Political Commissioner of Coast Guard Region 2, he served as Deputy Director of the Political Department of the Vietnam Coast Guard and had closely followed the unit's activities in Quảng Nam. Colonel Lê Huy acknowledged the active cooperation of various levels of government, settlers, and people of Quảng Nam province in fulfilling assigned political tasks, particularly in safeguarding maritime sovereignty, combating crime, handling violations, conducting rescue operations, and protecting fishermen. Mr. Lương Nguyễn Minh Triết congratulated Colonel Lê Huy on his new appointment and emphasized the crucial role of the officer and soldier of Coast Guard Region 2 in coordinating operations, developing combat plans to protect maritime sovereignty, and carrying out search and rescue efforts and disaster prevention. He also highlighted the Coast Guard ship's effectiveness in disseminating legal knowledge to fishermen, ensuring compliance with regulation against illegal, unreported, and unregulated AUU fishing, thereby enhancing the efficiency and effectiveness of state management of maritime and island affairs. Recently, Mr. Lương Nguyễn Minh Triết, Secretary of the Quảng Nam Provincial Party Committee, along with a working delegation, conducted an on-site inspection of social housing projects, land clearance efforts, and the construction of resettlement areas serving various projects in Thăng Bình, Truyen District, and Điện Bàn Thảo. During the inspection and survey, the Quảng Nam Economic and Industrial Zone Management Board proposed that the Provincial People's Committee allocate funding for investment in residential areas, resettlement zones, and worker housing. The medium-term public investment plan for the 2026-2030 period requires an estimated total investment of approximately 1,344 trillion Vietnam dong for 7 projects in Thăng Bình and Núi Thành district. These projects include infrastructure for Bình Nam residential and worker housing area, Bình Sa residential and worker housing area, Bình Hải Riverside resettlement area, Tam Anh Nam residential area, Tam Anh Bắc residential and worker housing area, among others. The management board also requested higher authorities to approve the initiative for organizing the development of detailed construction planning for residential and worker housing area in 2025 as the basis for project implementation. On the same day, Secretary Lương Nguyễn Minh Triết also inspected the handover progress of resettlement areas serving the site clearance for the Nam Hội An Resort project in Truyen District. Additionally, he reviewed the implementation of social housing projects, land clearance efforts, and the construction of resettlement areas for projects in Điện Bàn Thảo. Ladies and gentlemen, over the past decade, Quảng Nam province has implemented various measures to address coastal erosion at Cửa Đại Bích, Hội An City. However, in recent years, climate change and extreme weather have caused surf erosion in the northern area, damaging infrastructure along the coastline. Recently, the People's Committee of Quảng Nam Province launched a new project aimed at combating erosion and ensuring the sustainable protection of Hội An's coastline with the help of restoring a beach once recognized as one of the most beautiful in Asia. At the most severely affected area over the past decade, the 6-kilometer stretch of coastline from the Cửa Đại to An Bàng has suffered extensive destruction. Due to limited resources, the government has had to invest in protecting embankment in fights, while coastal tourism businesses have spent their own funds to reinforce their properties before each storm season. After studying the erosion patterns in this area for over 20 years, experts have observed significant transit in Cửa Đại Bích, particularly the northern stretch, which has been the hardest hit.
Les objectifs de l'AFD sont également
the
importants.
project of Tracy is crucial. It is about restoring to Hoi An a beach that 20 years ago was one of the most beautiful in the world. This, in turn, will help revive and boost tourism activities in the area. It is essential not only to invest in infrastructure that can breathe life back into the beach, but also to collaborate with Quảng Nam Provincial and Hoi An City to establish an integrated coastal management model. This model should involve all stakeholders, including hotel businesses and local authorities, to ensure the long-term restoration of the beach. Recently, the People's Committee of Quảng Nam Province initiated a project to combat erosion and sustainably protect Hoi An coastline. The project had a total investment of 982 billion Vietnam dong, short from a loan provided by the French Development Agency AFD, counterpart funding from Quảng Nam Province budget, and a non-refundable grant from the European Union (EU). Speaking at the closing breaking ceremony, Mr. Hồ Quang Bửu, Vice Chairman of the People's Committee of Quảng Nam Province, emphasized that comprehensive solution following the principle of integrated coastal zone management will help restore this vital tourist beach. The project for the construction of anti-erosion and sustainable coastal protection was in Hoi An, Quảng Nam Province, is one of the key projects with significant importance in stabilizing the Hoi An coastline. The completion and implementation of these projects are expected to help mitigate coastal erosion, ensure the safety of residents, promote business activities, especially in the tourism sector, and enhance the resilience of the local community to climate change.
The coastal line and help to avoid the erosion of the coast of this area. So we are coming together not only with important financial support in terms of infrastructure that will be helping for protecting the coastal zone, but also in terms of technical expertise and know-how.
The project consists of three main components. 1. Infrastructure investment, building coastal protection struggles. 2. Non-structural measures, implementing management strategy and policies. 3. Project management, ensuring effective implementation and oversight. According to the project investors, the initiative is expected to be completed by 2026. Additionally, beach nourishment efforts will be carried out in the expanded area near An Bàng Beach to help restore sediment balance and reduce post-construction erosion risks. According to the British travel magazine Wanderlust, the Mỹ Sơn Temple Complex has been named one of Vietnam's 11 most impressive religious destinations. These sites have reflected the cultural and religious life of Vietnam, showcasing the fusion of local tradition with Indian and Chinese influence. According to Wanderlust, the Mỹ Sơn Temple Complex is regarded as a prime example of Hindu architecture from the Indian subcontinent. This heritage site serves as a religious tourism destination, offering visitors insights into history, culture, and distinctive architectural artistry. Nestled within a landscape of forests, mountains, streams, and unique ecological environment, Mỹ Sơn embodies the natural beauty of Vietnam's central region. Other destinations featured in Wanderlust list include Thiên Mụ Pagoda, Huế, One Pillar Pagoda, Hà Nội, the Temple of Literature's Quốc Tử Giám, Hà Nội, Bái Đính Pagoda, Ninh Bình, and the Cao Đài Holy See, Tây Ninh, among others. We had to wrap up our news for today. Please stay updated with the latest news by following us on social media and visiting our website qrt.vn. Thank you for joining us and see you next time.